Attention, listener, I have an assignment for you. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to engage with the Real Nerds, aka the best podcast on the internet. You can listen to their episodes on their website, realnerdspodcast.com. And you can also listen to them on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and iTunes. Follow their social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This message will self-destruct never.
Camera, action!
Well, a real nerd knows who shot, and a real nerd can follow the plot, and a real nerd
Just
can...
talk film! I'm sorry.
Take it outside.
Well, a real nerd knows who shot, and a real nerd can follow the plot, and a real nerd will give it all they got. Lights, camera, action! Real nerds!
This is Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of your movie-going needs. I am Ryan, and I am joined by a whole host of nerds this week. We have Corinne.
Hello, everybody.
And Zach.
Yeah, I'm here.
And probably the greatest real nerd ever besides me, Brad.
Thank you. I'm glad to finally be back on this podcast.
Finally.
That's a joke because I've been on it for like 120 plus episodes straight. So
Yeah, and I haven't fired you yet, so
I'll find a way.
yeah,
I'll do something wrong. You'll see.
you'll seize, y'all seize. Every week we see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week we partaked in Disney Plus Day and streamed Pinocchio. Stay tuned till the end of the episode. Well, actually, that's our old format. We will tell you if we recommend the film or not, play the trailer, and then spoil the movie. And yeah, spoil that 80-year-old remake.
Yeah.
We also talk about the big movie news of the week and the one thing you either want to talk about or recommend. Yeah, that's what we do. How's everybody's week going? I feel like I haven't talked to Zach in a long time.
Yeah. It's a week. It's been a week. Got two calls for an interview, so we'll see how that plays out.
Didn't you have dinner with Lloyd Kaufman? I thought that's what you're going to lead with.
Oh yeah, no, of course, yeah, that yeah. So I was working the Colorado Festival of Horror with Zach Mines, our friend from past Film Explosions and Talkin' Trauma, and he and Lloyd were working the Trauma booth, so I actually helped out a good majority of the weekend at the Trauma booth, and they invited us all to dinner with Lynn Lowry, which was interesting because one of her earliest films was a Lloyd Kaufman film, and so it's just me, Vines, Richard Taylor, Lloyd, and Lynn all talking and swapping stories, and Lloyd praising "You Must Remember This," and us talking a little bit about the stuff they talk about on that show, and learning some more stuff about Zach's history with trauma and whatnot. So that was fun. It was fun to talk with Lloyd about Golden Age Hollywood stuff, and Lynn Lowry, when she found out I was into Jack Benny stuff, she was like, "Oh, I love Jack Benny." So I'm just like, it runs the gamut, guys. It runs the fucking gamut.
Nice. Corinne, you've been gone for a while too. What you been up to?
Oh, nothing too much, just working on projects for work. Nothing super exciting.
Yeah, that was really boring, but cool. I'm glad you're doing well.
Thanks. How about you, Ryan? Everything going all right in Clear Creek County?
All I do is work and then take care of my kid, and then I start again.
So are you saying that you work 17 years and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt?
Yep.
Okay.
And no one cares.
Does nobody know the trouble you see?
Brad, how is your hand?
It's about the same as when you saw it yesterday.
Brad, what happened to your hand?
I lost it in a lightsaber duel.
Did somebody tell you that they were your real father? Is that how this happened?
Yes. No, I was doing my Instacart and I got my first on-the-job injury by carrying a heavy bucket between two cars that were really close together in the dark, and I just totally wanged it on someone's side mirror, and it swelled up pretty bad, and yeah, hurt like hell.
Yikes. I hope it's not broken or anything.
I don't think so.
Was it a radioactive car window that you wanged it on? That way you could become a car superhero?
No,
Or maybe
unfortunately, no.
it was coated in toxic chemicals that might have blinded you, but also given you superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, nothing that cool. Just hard as
Or,
fuck.
or you're just a fucking transformer.
Yeah, probably shattered some blood vessels. That's about it.
Damn.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it got smashed and it like busted a bunch of blood vessels, and it's like an injury that you really can't do anything about except realize that it hurts.
Yeah, like it's still like I touch it, it still kind of feels like I don't know, like if you picked at a mosquito bite, like that kind of.
Like stinging, kind of.
Yeah, it really sucks to try to like grab my wallet out of my pants.
Oh
Like,
shit!
I have to pay
Oh,
for
yeah,
stuff.
that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it's just like every time I put it in, I'm like, squeezing it.
Will you reach into my pocket and pull my wallet out? It's space! It's space!
I'm really weak. Yeah, but yeah, nothing cool. Like, I never get to sit down and have dinner with celebrities who also like Ninja Turtles or something. So,
To
no
to
cool
be,
stories there.
you know what, Brad? Your presence was missed at the con, and I bet you that you would have also gotten to play Toxie at the booth had you been there. So
You got to play
I can't
Toxie
help
at the
but
booth?
think,
yeah, I did. Yeah, Courtney posted the pictures, so I guess it can be revealed. I played Toxie at the booth for 20 minutes.
What were you saying, Ryan?
I guess we figured out how Zach feels about us. He didn't invite us to his celebrity dinner.
No,
I found out about it on
no.
Instagram.
Hold
I
on
know.
a minute.
I was a Shakespeare shitstorm. No one invited me to dinner.
Yep. I was out.
I was
playing
like
the
dragging
song.
my feet, trying not to leave, and people are like, "You still hanging around here?" I'm like, "Yeah, just seeing if anything's happening." And then, yeah, I was like, "Okay, it seems like everything's dead." And then all these guys I was hanging out with went to dinner, and there I was at home.
That was the day after, bud. This was
I
during the
know,
festival
I'm just
itself.
guilt tripping you.
I'm actually shocked that
No,
neither
we
of you
get
did come.
we get it, Zach. We're peons, okay?
Okay, gotcha.
First it's Twombly, and now it's freaking not letting us have dinner with Lloyd Kaufman. Do we embarrass you?
No, you don't. In fact, I would have loved for you to have been there because you probably could have talked with him about Cary Grant. Because everybody loves Cary Grant. Even Lloyd Kaufman loves Cary Grant.
You see,
I'm sure.
I turned down Shakespeare's shit show.
That'd be amazing if Cary Grant turned down Shakespeare's shitstorm.
That's what he does. Anyways,
yeah.
Thanks for everybody for being on. Let's kick off the show like I always like to kick off the show. Zach, do you recommend the reimagined Pinocchio?
No. I don't. We'll talk more about it, but I feel like this film suffers from a multitude of issues, not the least of which being the script itself. And that sounds strange because it's kind of lifting from the original film, but it's a matter of dialogue that really irked me. It looks beautiful. I would watch it for the animation alone, but that's about it. That's literally about it.
Corinne, do you recommend Pinocchio?
If I hadn't rewatched the old one right before the new one, I might have been a little bit more forgiving. But just seeing the new one and being able to draw those comparisons so clearly, I was like, wow, this really falls flat where the old one just shone so much brighter and was just way, I don't know, like it definitely had like a je ne sais quoi sort of quality, whereas the new one, it was just like, there are good parts about it, but man, that ending, fell so flat. I was like, I think you just completely missed the point of what this whole story is supposed to be about. So I don't think I would recommend it to people. Maybe some people, but not everybody. It's not the worst of the Disney remakes, but it's not the best either.
Brad, do you recommend Pinocchio?
Uh, if you're someone who watched the original Disney version and thought to yourself, man, this would be improved if it was in like more three-dimensional, then yeah, then I guess you would probably enjoy this. But if you're not a huge Pinocchio fan and wanted something with a more depth, it's not this movie.
So, Pinocchio is my favorite animated film of all time. In fact, it's my second favorite film of all time. Um, so a part of me will always like Pinocchio, and this version of it, while I don't think there's anything egregiously wrong with it, I think it's just exists and it doesn't add anything to Pinocchio. We'll get into it later, but yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. It's there. If you have Disney Plus and you're looking for a family movie, you can watch it. Kellen liked it, so here's the trailer for Pinocchio.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the eighth wonder of the world. The one and only Pinocchio!
Hello, Pops.
Jumping jeepers. An almost real boy. Turn around, let me get a look at you. I will be right here when you get back.
Pinocchio is running around loose without a conscience? Can you imagine the trouble he's gonna get into?
Wouldn't want that on my conscience.
Everybody who's anybody wants to be a somebody.
But I want to be real.
Why on earth would you want to be real when you can be famous?
Pinocchio should have been home by now. He won't be a puppet anymore. That's for sure. Pinocchio, be brave.
Truthful.
Non-selfish.
You will always be my real boy.
A lie can really change a person, Pinocchio.
Oh, what's happening, Jiminy?
Looks like some sort of fairy magic. Kinda on the nose, if you ask me.
In case you don't know the story that's 80 years old by a movie, and don't know the story of wishing for him to be a real boy, or Geppetto is a woodcarver who wishes his marionette puppet Pinocchio as a real boy, and he's granted that wish by the Blue Fairy, and Pinocchio must learn to be a good person to become a real boy, which I don't know if is really clearly explained in this version. And it's bizarre because this film had a lot of the same beats as the original, but it was 20 minutes longer and some of the pacing was different and stretched out. The two biggest things for me that kept it from being a magical experience, because I loved the design of Pinocchio in it. I thought he looked great. I loved seeing the little wood grains in him, and his gloves I adored. But I don't understand what the point of the seagull was. Like, that was just unnecessary. And two, Jiminy Cricket is reluctant to be Pinocchio's conscience, which I thought was really an unusual choice too. Where in this one, he's really driven by the fact to help. In the old one, he's really driven by the fact to help Pinocchio, and in this one, he's reluctantly helping him.
They describe him as a little bit more opportunistic than Cliff
Yeah.
Edwards,
Yeah,
Jiminy.
And you know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is fine as Jiminy. I think the script lets him down in that regard because I think he's playing it how it's written. It's just, you know, he made it he emphasized the point a lot that he's just a temporary conscience. You know, and I think that's what I really missed in this version. I think Tom Hanks is fun as Geppetto. I love the part where they're in the ocean with Monstro and he says, you know, I became famous. He says, you became famous. And I just love and then he says, you did all this in one day? It's just like funny. But yeah, there's just something about it loses a little bit of the luster. And the heart, I guess, is what I think is the biggest thing.
I don't know. First of all, let me backtrack a slight bit. There are two performances in this film that I really enjoyed. One was Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jiminy Cricket because that was about as close you were going to get to Cliff Edwards without getting one of the in-house Disney voice artists who can do a Cliff Edwards. And I liked Keegan-Michael Key as Honest John a lot. I thought he was good.
Honest John?
Even though, again, the issues I have are with the script and the dialogue. And I don't know how else to describe it, but there was a poignant line for me when Tom Hanks says something to the effect of like to the seagull, I have some nice garbage here for you. And I was like, oh, I don't like this film making fun of me right now. Because I just feel like the dialogue of this film was trying too much to capture some kind of self-awareness that I like that stuff in measure nowadays, but I don't like it shoved in my face anymore unless it's Scream. And I just kind of felt like this movie doesn't need it. The story of a wooden puppet trying to be a real boy should stand on its own two legs. And I just don't know if I don't know if the dialogue supports the story they're trying to tell. But what's beautiful about this film, honestly, is just it looks amazing. There's the scene where Pinocchio is being tempted away by Honest John and Gideon, and Jiminy Cricket's out to stop him, and Gideon grabs that hammer. I had this like brief moment where I was like, this is what a live action Looney Tune cartoon movie is going to look like. Because the motion and the animation of Gideon swinging that hammer and having it bonk him like that just felt like an Acme cartoon to me. And I was like overjoyed by that because it immediately called to mind, this is the man who made Roger Rabbit. He knows how to do comic gag timing like that. But yeah, I mean, and Pleasure Island there's points where it doesn't look super seamless, but like the debauchery that he's able to get away with on screen is quite remarkable. And the only real thing you get rid of from the original one is they replace beer with root beer and get rid of the cigars. So, but yeah, and then Corinne, I'm curious what you meant about the ending, because I have some issues with the ending myself, but I don't know if we have the same idea with it.
Well, I mean, the literal, like the last second where it's like, well, did he really become a real boy? Like, who's to say? That pissed me off. But then just like thinking about it again, that whole last scene with Geppetto, I don't know, like everything from when Pinocchio's like face down to when he, you know, at least again, having rewatched the animated version so recently, and like that scene where Geppetto wakes up and he sees Pinocchio face down in the water and he's like, oh my gosh. And then it, like cuts over to Pinocchio's like little lifeless wooden corpse lying on the bed and Geppetto's like praying and crying and stuff. And then he comes to life as the real boy and all that. It's like that scene just hits you so hard after you've seen Pinocchio go through so much. And then in this, the new one, it's like Pinocchio wakes up and he's fine. And it's Geppetto who's dead. And then Pinocchio brings him back to life with some tangled crying bullshit. Like they pulled the exact same bullshit from Tangled, where like the tear has magical powers to bring people back to life. And then it was almost like I could hear offset. Somebody was like, "Hey, Tom Hanks, like we've got, 5 minutes, like wrap this movie up in this scene right now. We ain't got time to linger. This is the final day of shooting. Let's go." And then, Geppetto just like real quick is like, "Well, you might not be a real boy, but you learned your lesson and whatever. So you're basically a real boy. Okay, let's go walk over into that cave."
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, you do see him slightly transform. In rewatching.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know,
so
but it was still so stupid. I was
I-
like, you missed the landing completely. I would have
yeah,
been fine with the movie if they'd have stuck the landing, but it's like, what was even the point?
I think the issue is it's like, I mean, like ultimately the ending is going to be what it's going to be if you're trying to go for that angle. I just feel like the Jungle Book from 2016 landed that subversion of the expectation way better. And part of it's, I feel, because it earned it. And I don't know if this movie earned it. They do certainly make me feel for Pinocchio. Like the scene where he gets kicked out of the school is like, oh man, shoot, that's brutal. Like, yeah, I did like the addition of the Sabina character, this woman who tries to help him escape from Stromboli. I thought that was a pretty nice little addition. Pinocchio, Ryan, you'd say it's episodic. The original one is pretty much an episodic story, more or less.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So like, and I saw some people online going like, this character's not needed. And I'm like, well, technically none of these characters are needed because it's episodic. So I don't mind that addition. And I actually think it's a kind of nice, sweet little touch. The seagull, I'm kind of like,
wish she would have made more of an impact on the plot though, because she doesn't end up helping Pinocchio escape. And then I guess at the end she comes back only to give Pinocchio some kind of a test of like, oh, come with us and be famous. But he decides to go help his father, and then that's when the donkey ears and the tail disappears, and that's it.
yeah.
It's the only impact on the plot that she has.
Gotcha. And here's a question I have for everybody, because I think one of the most impacting scenes in Pinocchio from 1940 has to be the donkey, Lampwick transforming into a donkey. I did not feel the sense of peril that the original version instills, and I think that was a missed mark. And I don't know if that's because it doesn't seem like that's Zemeckis' decision. That seems like it's a Disney decision, because that scene could have been way scarier, because I know Zemeckis is capable of doing that. And it just felt a little bit, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, for some reason, the only time that I was like truly getting the shivers was when his hand starts kind of slowly turning into a hoof. But I shouldn't expect American Werewolf in London level transformation in this movie. But I was like hoping for some kind of weird middle ground, and I just didn't get it.
I think a lot
part
of
of the
times.
reason that
Go ahead, Corinne.
Oh, sorry. I think part of the reason that scene doesn't have teeth that the other one does is also because, at least in the new one, they kind of cut out, or they at least trimmed down the scene where Jiminy sees the donkeys going on to the ship and like them getting shipped out, and like the whoever's like the crew or something like tearing the clothes off, and the one donkey can still talk. And the coachman's like, no, throw this one back. And they're all screaming, "Mama, Mama," and all this. And it's like, that scene is so heartbreaking. And
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah.
I think a lot of it too is you lose something in CGI that you get in hand drawn,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the emotion. And there's a disconnect, I think, with completely CGI characters that you can't replicate when it's hand drawn, because when it's hand drawn, the people pour their souls into it. And I'm not diminishing the artists that do the CGI, but there's something that's missing in it.
It's the difference between an army of people versus the key animators from either the eventual Nine Old Men or the original founders. That is, yeah, you're right. They're putting their souls into it. And it's not to say that the artists aren't putting their souls into it, but it's an army of people working on several different moving parts in the CG realm, and there's going to be a disconnect in that because it's lacking. Ryan, it's the definitive characteristic of Disney animation is personality animation, and Pinocchio has personality, but like all the personality seems like ripped right from the movie, and it doesn't have its own personality. It's almost like I wish there was some way that you could have inflected something. There needs to be something extra to make this stand out, or otherwise it's just going to be lifted directly from the 1940s and not standing on its own two wooden legs, as it were.
Brad, you're quiet. Do you want chip in on this?
Your review of the film was hilarious.
Thank you. If you're wondering what Zach's talking about, you can read my review on Letterboxd. I just think that, whenever Pinocchio came out of the water for an extended period of time, he should have like slowly just turned into like a warped mess. You know how wood, in water will expand and warp. Yeah, that'd have been funny addition. I'm thinking of new stuff for this movie. They could have done.
Also, are we gonna overlook how he basically became like a motorboat there at the end? Like this little wooden puppet has the power of like an engine.
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen the original in a long time, so a lot of what I was watching. A lot of what I was watching was, what I remembered the movie to be. So yeah, the whole experience just felt like I was watching the same movie. And now you're talking about it, I am remembering like the new things, like the girl with the leg and what else? The fact that Geppetto, was the one unconscious at the end and stuff. But yeah, and also I didn't understand why initially Geppetto, he works for himself. I don't see why he sets his own hours. I don't see why he could just walk that kid to his first day at school. Instead he just makes him figure it out on his own, because he is a recluse dealing with the death of his family. And I never got the impression that he ever made, he apologizes for making Pinocchio feel like he wanted a real boy. I'm like, I don't remember a scene where he looked disappointed that he didn't have a real boy. He seemed pretty excited that his wooden doll came to life the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know where Pinocchio got into his head that Geppetto was disappointed in him. So that ending felt kind of unnecessary.
I also noticed how they changed some of the dialogue from the Blue Fairy, because in the original she says something like, Geppetto, you spent so much time and energy like making other children happy, so you deserve like a kid of your own or something along those lines. And so that's why she brings Pinocchio to life. Whereas in this one, it's like that weird thing with the light from the star shooting into the picture frame, shooting into the puppet. That was just weird. It's like, oh, let's resurrect his dead son in the form of this puppet. Like, oh, it's a little creepy.
Yeah, I know Zach mentioned he liked Honest John as Michael Key, but I actually wasn't that big of a fan of him. And also, like, even with the Blue Fairy, I think some of the characters got shortened. I mean, even when you wish upon a star, when she comes in, is shorter. High Diddle Dee Dee is shortened. And then they add a couple songs that are okay. It's just like the personality's gone, and the little boy who plays Pinocchio is good. But there's an innocence to Dickie Jones's voice work that, even though this kid was really good in it in the new one, it's missing. And I don't think it's the kid's fault. I think it goes back to the overall feel of the project. In the 1941, Dickie Jones has a lot of like this really innocence to him, and this one doesn't really have it. So yeah, there's just like little nitpicky things. I still think it's a cute movie. I don't think it's like horrible. It's just, it's hard when Pinocchio's the greatest animated film of all time, and
Yeah,
know.
it's an unbearably terrible bar to ever try to set your sights on. Like you're not going to beat. There's no amount of CG, no amount of script reworking, no matter of Chris Pine references that's going to capture the same magic of looking at these underwater effects that they drew by hand
Yeah.
and went through seamlessly in the multiplane camera for certain shots of that city that are going to match whatever you can put on that there you can't match that. It's a singularly great art form that I don't mind these remakes. I love that Jungle Book one a lot. I liked the Beauty and the Beast one just fine, but there's too much reliance on this. Like all that money that they're putting into this could have gone into resurrecting a hand drawn art form for one of their animated films.
You know, and I also like. I mean, there's little details in it I loved. Like I said, I mentioned Pinocchio. I loved his design. Also, I loved when Jiminy Cricket would jump. It was a cricket chirp. I thought it was a really cute little thing they did.
Oh yeah.
There's you know, who's the lady who plays the Blue Fairy?
Oh, Cynthia Erivo, yeah.
Yeah, like her voice is spectacular. Like she does a great job with.
I wish she was in the movie more. I wish she was in the movie more.
Yeah, her entrance reminds me of the kid in Thor: Love and Thunder. So,
Exactly.
you know, it's I don't know. You can tell she's not there with any of them. And I mean, obviously she's acting with CGI characters, but she's not in that room. I don't know. Like the movie's harmless, and I don't know if I'll probably watch it again just because I love Pinocchio, but it's not one I go out to see. You know, if you're asking me about the Disney remakes, I think Jungle Book's probably the best one, followed really closely by Cinderella. And yeah, I think those are probably the best ones. Even Aladdin, I think, has a certain amount of energy, but yeah. I was just you're trying to replicate something that they did well with Lion King and Jungle Book that just hasn't. And I mean, the Lion King remake isn't that great, but it made $1.5 billion. So what do we know? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
All right. This is the big news story of the week.
It's real news.
D23 happening. That's the biggest story of the week.
Yeah.
So let's get this off the bat. Mermaids are fake. So I don't give a shit who they cast as long as they're a good actor who can play the part. And I'm tired of racists on the internet. All right. Now you guys can just talk about D23.
I think even watching the Little Mermaid teaser, I got the same vibe as I got from every Disney live action remake. Is what are they going to do to make this fun? I mean, I don't care about who Ariel is, but it's again, there's a charm to the cartoons that, I mean, already in the trailer, the underwater looks spectacular and it looks so lifelike that it loses some of the charm. What I loved about Flounder is flounders in real life are really ugly fish, but in, the Little Mermaid, he's a cute little yellow and blue guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I'll always reserve judgment. I mean, I don't even know the lady's name, but she has a killer voice too. And
Halle
Bailey.
Halle Bailey, yeah.
But that's one of the most famous Disney songs ever. That part of your world, So
she sings it really well.
Oh no, I'm sure she's incredibly talented. I don't know where she's from because I'm old. So
yeah, it looks good. But there was also other stuff that came out of there. There was some footage apparently shown of Snow White that hasn't hit the internet, but it seems like it looks interesting from the description. But we also got a Secret Invasion trailer for the Marvel universe out there. I'm
Snooze.
excited.
Let's talk about the Mandalorian.
Hey, Corinne, how about we talk about a Samuel L. Jackson television show?
Don't care. I only
Why?
care about Din Djarin, the sexiest motherfucker in the Star Wars universe,
Okay, I guess so. Let's talk
and
about.
his beautiful 50-year-old son, Grogu.
That's fair.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Mandalorian's been talked about a lot.
Not enough. Not on
Okay.
this
So-
podcast.
So, what are we going to talk about? What did you want to talk about the Mandalorian, Corinne? I mean, you just
I'm just really
interrupted
excited.
Zach talking about Secret Invasion.
Eh.
So,
I'm just excited. We're gonna see Mandalore again. We're gonna have all these other, Mandalorians coming in. Bo-Katan's coming back. Got lots of stuff going on. Very excited. The redemption arc for Din after, he might have to do some kind of like a spiritual thing, spiritual cleansing, become ruler of Mandalore. I don't know. I'm excited to find out.
I guess you're so excited you can't even put into words why you interrupted Zach talking about Secret Invasion.
I don't know. I'm just like so burnt out on the MCU at this point. Although I do admit that trailer looks good. It's got that kind of thriller espionage vibe to it.
Yeah, it's like a James Bond television show, but with Marvel and the Kroll. So or the Kree, sorry. So I'm very
No, the scrolls.
the Skrulls. Yeah, sorry, whatever. The beings that were in Captain Marvel. I am looking forward to that show because I want Nick Fury to have a television show, and I'm down for that. But yeah, I mean, was there anything else at D23 that stood out to anybody else here?
I mean, there's lots of fun things. We have the Thunderbolts roster was announced.
Yeah,
They announced, some video games that are coming out, and they announced a Mickey documentary that I want to see coming out.
yeah. Oh my God, that looks cool.
Which I follow Floyd Norman on Facebook, and if you don't, you really should. He's a Disney animator, and he always posts really fun things that he's drawn. And like yesterday, he just posted Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, and he's draws so well. But he talked about that he's finally able to talk about the Mickey documentary, which gets me excited.
He was one of the last people that's still alive right now that worked directly with Walt.
Yeah, I think his first movie was The Jungle Book, actually, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I could be off on that, but I think I'm right.
It's either that or 101 Dalmatians. It's one of those two.
Yeah,
I think
right
Jungle
around
Book
Walt's
is-
last two. Go ahead, sorry, Brad.
I think it's Jungle Book because I just listened to his interview on Malton on Movies. He didn't talk about 101 Dalmatians. He talked about Jungle Book. So,
oh yeah, no, he's great. So if you should follow him. He's really fun on Facebook. And I mean, he's an animator and amazing. So, yeah, no, I think it looks like fun stuff.
They also
Inside Out
dropped.
too. Go ahead.
Oh, they dropped a trailer for Disenchanted, the Enchanted sequel, which looks awesome. They're gonna kind of flip it on its head and bring the fairy tale world into the real world. And then also they dropped a trailer for Hocus Pocus 2, but I don't care about that as much.
I know my wife's really excited. She loves the first Hocus Pocus.
Why do you two want to make Mick Garris cry?
Who?
Mick Garris, he's a horror director who came up with the concept for Hocus Pocus, and that's why y'all have Hocus Pocus today.
Yeah. So no, like I'm not the biggest fan of it, but my wife loves it. So
it's got a good fan base. It's got plenty of adoration.
That's fine. So yeah, just fun stuff happening at D23.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that Avatar movie that is supposedly coming out got talked more about. So, but again, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep. I know it's coming out because Brad and I have this huge conspiracy thing about those movies. That's why Shazam isn't coming out, because they only want Avatar to be there. And every time Avatar Titanic comes out, they always add to its grosses. So Avatar is coming out, I think, actually this week or next. And so when it comes out, they'll add it to its overall total. And Spider-Man No Way Home has 2 separate ones on Box Office Mojo for it's like the re-release. Like, what the hell is this bullshit? But yeah. Anywho,
Understood.
Cameron just paying off Hollywood.
Yep.
I hate Avatar. Oh, I'm so not looking forward to the sequel.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent to it. I mean, I'm gonna have to see it because no other freaking movies are out that week.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Here's the. Sorry, Zach. Here's the one thing you either recommend or the one thing you want to talk about because it's so bizarre or so bad.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Corinne, start us off.
Okay, so I gotta recommend the Lego Batman movie. I just got to watch it for the first time like a week or so ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that movie's
Honestly,
great.
I know I'm disappointed in myself. I hadn't seen it before, but at least I finally got around to watching it and it was awesome. Obviously, I appreciated all the meta jokes that they throw in there, but I also appreciated that the movie just stands on its own two legs and it gives Batman this really nice arc, brings the Bat family into this universe, which obviously a lot of the more serious ones, it's always got to be like Batman off and brooding in the corner all by himself. But then if like in the comics and a lot of the animated shows, he has his sidekicks, he has his, adopted kids and stuff. So it's like, why are we always getting the loner brooding Batman on the cinema, the silver screen? Like, why can't we have, the family man Batman too? So yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Really
it's a really
great
fun movie.
animation. So I would, I don't know if I'd put it quite on like a Spider-Verse level, but I can understand how other people do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as deep as that, but I think it's the second best Lego movie. I think the first Lego movie is the best one. That one's really close to it.
I've still never seen the original Lego movie.
That's really
I've seen
fun.
the sequel for some reason, and I've seen the Batman one now, but I haven't seen the original.
That first one is what convinces you that they should keep making Lego movies. And then the Batman one reminds you, yeah, this can still work.
I like the second one.
Yeah, the second one's fun. And then they make, Ninjago and you go, okay. It's not horrible. It's all right.
I just love the song number in the Lego movie too, where they're singing about like not into Gotham City guys. It's just perfect. Anyway.
Zach?
Me? Oh, wow. I'm going to go ahead and recommend you all go back to 1922, 100 years ago, when F.W. Murnau, possibly played by John Malkovich, directed a man named Max Schreck, possibly played by Willem Dafoe, in a movie called Nosferatu. I'm rewatching it for Ballyhoo, and God damn it, I love that movie. It is a very, it's just such a lovely, moody film that it tries very hard to fully adapt Stoker's novel, and it's just a glory to watch. I watched it on the Kino restoration, and
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The score is fantastic. The recreation of the original score is fantastic. And just kind of watching how much they get away with. I've never noticed this before, Ryan, because every time I watched it, it was always like on a phone or something when I was in high school, or like an iPod Touch. But when he's attacking the ship and he gets the captain at the back of the boat and he smashes it, there's blood splatters on the back of that boat.
Yeah.
I knew the movie was terrifying, but I didn't remember it being that violent. And to watch it at the end and have everything become as tragic as it does, it's just remarkable to see unfold. The only thing that I finally sat up and just said it out loud was like, Professor Bulver is the Van Helsing equivalent, I guess. And his specialty is botany, and it's a good excuse to watch a Venus flytrap in action during one scene. But I was just like, man, like nobody can touch Edward Van Sloan as Van Helsing. Like that's the that's the top tier. And it's like the one thing that Murnau's film is lacking is a formidable Van Helsing kind of character. But I think if you did have that in there, it would destroy the arc of the film that's being created with Nosferatu or Count Orlok being able to kind of like channel Ellen, the Lucy equivalent from afar. And so, or Mina equivalent. So it's kind of like just dazzling to still watch, even if it doesn't have all the full Dracula elements at play. So if you want to check it out, I really recommend that. Kino Blu-ray is only like what, $20. And it's just, yeah, and you get a full documentary on Murnau. You get the version with the original German subtitles, which I might go through again before I record with Henry on Sunday. But it was just absolutely worth it. And I will throw in the caveat. If you've got Shakespeare Shitstorm in your town, go check it out. It is an unabashed trauma movie. And it was an interesting and very fun, raucous time at the movies.
Yeah, I would recommend Nosferatu too. For a 100-year-old movie, it's has some scary stuff in it. Brad, what's the one thing you want to talk about this week?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have one. I saw a bunch of stuff, but actually, because I re-upped my Netflix subscription, so I've been just burning through as much as I've missed to before I cancel it again. So
Didn't a new season of Cobra Kai come out?
Yeah, so I watched Cobra Kai, I watched Stranger Things, I watched the Rise of the TMNT movie, and I'm watching Better Call Saul right now, and yeah, all those things are great. So but I just realized, since Zach didn't talk about it, I watched Shakespeare Shitstorm, which I don't know if it's a movie I'd recommend, but it's definitely a movie with the most stuff in it ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the Trauma movie that we saw last Thursday, premiered in the Sea Film Center, and Lloyd Kaufman was there. It's the first film he's directed in a while, I guess, right?
It's been about 3 years since in between the last Nukem High film, I believe.
Okay. And yeah, it's his return to him aping Shakespeare and putting a schlocky, offensive, trashy spin on it. And like I said, I watched it, and it was just like it had everything in the kitchen sink in it. Anything offensive you could think of, it was in there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Amazingly creative, especially and ambitious for a person of his age, and I commend him for it. I can't say it's an experience I would recommend to everybody, but if you can stomach a lot of crudity, then I think it's definitely fun. I'd say I had a fun time watching it.
Yeah, it's a film that I don't agree with every satirical point he's making, but I recommend that people check it out if they're looking for somebody who is not tethered to any system to watch what they're able to unpack for 93 minutes. It's got a weird amount of scope in it for a movie that is clearly that low budget.
Yeah, for that budget, there's a lot in it. They do a lot with that money. So
yeah, you want to see the dollar stretched as far as it can go. That's the film. But yeah, it's worth seeking out. Like I said, it's not gonna, as Brad said, it's not gonna be for everybody, but it is definitely, it's worth a spin if you know what you're getting into.
What did you watch, Ryan?
The one thing I recommend is I'm going to stay in the Bat family. And it wasn't the latest episode of Harley Quinn. It was the one previously. But it's a really fascinating look into Batman's origin, where it's been done to death, his parents being murdered. And the premise is Harley and Poison Ivy are trying to figure out why Bruce Wayne kidnapped Ivy's plant named Frank, and they don't know. Obviously, they don't know he's Batman, but they use Dr. Psycho, they all go inside his brain, and it deconstructs grief and guilt in a way that I've never seen done with Batman before. Where basically when Harley's in there and they're trying to figure out where Frank is at, they learn that Bruce, Batman, sees his parents being murdered all the time, and that's what drives him. So Harley is trying to talk to a 9-year-old Bruce Wayne about where they're keeping, Frank, but she realizes that he's extremely traumatized by the events that took place and understanding why he's Batman. And she learns that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And as the 9-year-old Bruce Wayne, he's afraid to trust her, but she tells him, it's client doctor privilege. And when they come out of the trance, she still doesn't reveal to anybody else that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And there's like these really sweet moments with it. And it's really interesting how they deconstruct his origin in a way. And what I love about the Harley Quinn show is they have a lot of shocking, I don't know if shock is the right word, but revelations like that, whether it's an abusive relationship with the Joker and why someone keeps on going back, or now why Bruce Wayne is traumatized constantly by his parents being murdered in front of him and why it drives him. And deep down inside, he's still a little kid trying to make sure his parents don't die. It's a really fascinating look into trauma that I didn't expect in a film. So, or TV show, cartoon one nonetheless. So if you haven't been watching Harley Quinn, you really should. It's really great. And
what season are they on now, Ryan? 4?
It's the 3rd. If you have, and each season's, I think, it's only 12 episodes, so they're not that long. And I think this one's only 10 coming up. And so, yeah, they're really good. And it's a nice, it feels like it's the extension of the animated series if it was more raunchy and violent. So, because there's also a great Mr. Freeze episode. But yeah, it's great. And just really quick, I'll plug to Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D in stereoscope on a big screen is awesome. You really appreciate the technicality and the work that went into making that film 3D. So, yeah.
I verify.
Yes.
I concur.
It's because you never know how it's going to work, but the things coming right at the camera, man, it was awesome. So yeah, if you have a chance to see that, you should see it. Stay tuned to next week where our movie of the week is going to be Pearl, which is a sequel to X, which came out earlier in the year. So that was fast and cool. So that will be our film of the week.
Not doing Clerks 3?
Clerks 3 is going to be next week, being that Brad is going to the Q&A with Kevin Smith. And so we're going to see if Brad will gather any insight that we can add to our review of Clerks 3.
I have an extra ticket if anyone wants it.
What day? No, I guess we'll talk off mic.
So, yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies. Bye.
Bye.
Well, a real nerd knows who shot. Well, a real nerd can follow the plot. And a real nerd will give it all they got. Lights, camera, action. Real nerds.
Thanks for listening to Real Nerds Podcast, a Nebulous Visions production. Stream or download episodes, read articles at realnerdspodcast.com. Stream us on Apple or Google Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Follow us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. Twitter and Instagram, @Real Nerds. Watch us on YouTube, Real Nerds Podcast. Email us at realnerds@gmail.com. Call us at 720-6nerds5. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill, Mike at Plan 9 Studios, and Bolognium for all of our groovy theme songs. And that's how you fucking do it!